All right, so one way we can get interact or inject AI into your Canvas modules is by just using searches. And Andy Search is a great way to have both the chat bot function that's associated with AI bots and the search function that would be associated with like just general search engines, right? And the cool thing about Andy is that, again, a young person doesn't have to log in. So we're talking about student privacy. We don't have logins, and that is a benefit in that, again, the data that a student would have, their name, their date, their birth, their email address, all that wonderful stuff is kept hidden. The thing that you have to think about is that means that all of the conversations that are had inside of the platform, or on the platform rather, are not going to be saved. So that's something to kind of tease in your mind in terms of utilizing tools like this. The trade-off to not having the login is not being able to save information. But this is a great way to just get started with utilizing artificial intelligence in your classroom in a more robust manner. So as you see here, Andy has a box for things to be searched. And let's just look at volcanoes. Tell me about volcanoes, but explain it as if I were a kindergarten student. So let's work from there. So just basic prompting. Here's your task. Here's how I want you to explain the task to me. It doesn't matter what grade level you happen to be on. I love for things to be explained to me as a kindergarten just because I know it's going to be very simple and direct. If I need some higher scaffolding, some different language and stuff, it's a great starting point for me as I go through my particular studies. And so, great, volcanomama.com. Now, if we really want to ensure that students are media savvy, volcanomama.com sounds a little sketch. It might be a wonderful website that has great authentic information, but we want to make sure we find other sources from credible places we have experiences with being credible. And this again makes this a great activity to do with your young people to figure out, again, is this output accurate? Not only the output from the chatbot, but also the actual information that it went and received. So we've got that. Great. Fine dandy. We have two different separate parts here. Here's what video or Volcano Mama is talking about. Here's some images. Time for Kids. Okay, Time Magazine is a magazine. It's going to have people hopefully who are going to be fact checking things. So that's interesting. Britannica for Kids. So again, an encyclopedia company. Time for Kids, National Geographic. And what you'll notice here as well is I can visit the website, which is something that, again, you can encourage your young people to do. I can read it right here on the site. This is another reason why this is really good to keep inside of your Canvas module. So this is the information off the website. It tells me when it was published, which is great. I can also have this summarized for me because I just went to TLDR really quickly. Cool. I can have it explained to me in terms of the AIs that's going to go through and rock and roll. But I have the ability to go and fact check this information because I have all those buttons at the bottom, which is one of the reasons I really like Andy Search, especially for younger learners. So I've got all that information. Now, I can continue to ask questions here and continue that conversation and whatnot. But again, remember, this is not going to be saved information. Once I, navigate away from this page, this is all going to go, kaput. But what I can do is I can embed this inside of the Canvas modules. And so when I was in the classroom, one of the biggest issues with Canvas in particular was navigating away from Canvas and then coming back to Canvas. And this was with upper elementary and middle school students. And so I know that if you're using this in your younger elementary school classes, that's a huge problem. So we're just going to copy that. And again, I think every Canvas designer's best friend is an iframe generator. Just being able to embed things that are embeddable into the pages so that we have live, fully functioning websites inside of Canvas. And so I'm just going to call this Andy Search. I'm going to go 1200, 800 as usual. bigger or smaller. If you want a scroll bar there, by all means, you can add a scroll bar. I'm just going to say yes for right now. I'm going to paste that inside there, preview it to make sure it works. There's my search engine. Great. Let's generate that. That's the code there. I'm going to copy that code. Wonderful. And we'll go right to my modules. Now, one of the things I would suggest that you do when you're in your modules is have a dedicated page that's just called Andy Search and add the app. Now, why I would do that is this would give kids a very easy way just to click on it if you're using pages. Great. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to edit that. We can add it either through the embed code up here or the raw HTML down here. Either way, click, go back. There's my deal. Wonderful. Great. I'm at the save button. Wonderful. So if I want to embed it in the page, that's the way that I would do it. But the other thing that I used to do in the classroom is I really spam discussions. And I spam discussions because of the fact that you can have pinned discussions up here. So I'll create a discussion. Andy Search. Throw that in there. Great. Don't really care about that. And the cool thing about discussions, in my discussions pages were my default pages, is because that reply button allows kids to have a constant conversation. Also allows students to respond to each other. So if there's a question that someone has that someone else can answer, you as the instructor don't have to be bothered with it. But here's the information. Great. This is cool again because kids can see discussions, at least in my little default situation here, but when they go to a page, they would always be able to get the discussion. So if you had all the modules here, they click discussions, they would see at the top, there's a pinned discussion called, oh, didn't do that. So I'm gonna drag it up to this pinned discussions. Here's my pinned discussion and you're good to go. All right. And so that makes it really easy for you to find information. You have like a simple chat bot that you didn't have to code. You didn't have to learn how to train or anything like that. That's really going to give learners a leg up in finding information, having conversations, and co-intelligence with the chatbot without, again, having to expose any student data or any student privacy issues. So that's how I would embed a chatbot into my Canvas course really simply.